Check, check, microphone check, 1, 2. Hello, hello, microphone check, 1, 2. We are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Take your shoes off. Stay a while. Hopefully this broadcast runs nice and crispy. If not, let me just check all my vitals. Make sure. It is good. Check. Perfect. Let's go ahead and turn that off. We're reading the Kolbrin Bible. Let us proceed, shall we? Sorry it's been such a long time. First of all, my name's Keith. If you're new, man of letters, here to bring you knowledge, information, hopefully at the very least a bit of entertainment. I'm going to be reading the Kolbrin Bible. Man, this is the 6th book. You finished 5 books of the Kolbrin Bible. It's taken us like 2 years. Amongst other things, of course. But I'm happy to be back. Happy to be here with y'all. Check. Let me just, like I said, check my vitals real quick. A little bit of this action. Hello, hello. This is a test from Ventura, California, United States of America, planet Earth, solar system, Milky Way galaxy, quadrant X77254. Sending out a broadcast to whomst ever's available. We will be reading some magic. We will be reading some things from a Bible written thousands of years ago, so they say, and hopefully of which will be somewhat enlightening. Familiar, maybe brand new, maybe we'll see. Makes sense, maybe makes 0 sense. Also a possibility. We would like to use somewhat discernment when we can, though I must say Kolbrin so far has been pretty magical, pretty enlightening. And that should do it for our test. Let's see here. Okay. Just me. Hello, just me. Creative minds. Hello. The way the universe works. I was just thinking about the Kolbrin, and here you are. Bendiciones. Oh, creative mind. Thank you kindly. I am happy that we have lined up. Have we not? I'm happy we've lined up. Let's run it. Shall we run it? Let's run it. Also, I will be snapping, doing little things. I'm recording this into my software so that when it's all done, we can have a nice, well-produced video for book 6 of the Kolbrin Bible. So, you guys are getting a behind the scenes. Forgive me if I stop and repeat some things, if I don't get the right inflection, because we have to tell a story, do we not? Also, I forgot to get water. I'm feeling a little... We don't want to get that ASMR with it. So thank you guys for keeping me company. In other words, thank you for keeping me company. I really appreciate it while we work on this, because it can get awfully lonesome in this den out here, for hours on end, reading these things. Just home from work and going to make dinner. Nonconformista. I couldn't remember your screen name, but I did think of you this morning when I was like, I'm going to do some live readings this morning. I bet you some of my European squad's going to be able to tap in because I'm not running a live at like 3 o'clock in the morning as I normally would. Sea Fleet, though. Hello, Sea Fleet Creative. I did forget water, though, so let me get water. I'll be back in like 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. 1 sec. And then we will start. Hey, sorry about that, y'all. I am back. Had to take care of some household things really quickly. Hey, how's your day? Where about in the Kolbrin Bible are we reading today? Well, we're finally starting the next book. We finished books 1 through 5. We are now on book 6, which is the Book of Morals and Precepts. We will be recording into our computer as well, so bear with us. Meaning if we mess up, we're going to have to go back and fix it for the final edition. You guys ready? Have you stretched? Have you gotten your water? Have you gotten your tea? Have you rolled your oregano? Have you done all the things you need to do to get ready? Because we are ready on my end. Hello, Norma. All right, let's go. Let me know if the background music's too loud, too soft. I'm trying to dial that in here. Check, 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 check. Listo, listo, pisto. Okay, without further ado, ladies and gents, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I present to you Book 6 of the Kolbrin Bible, Book of Morals and Precepts. Behold, the teachings concerning life and the testimonies which are true guide through the portals at the great halls of eternity. Here is a code of behavior and manner of living prescribed by the noble ones, the story of life with a revelation of the secrets and mysteries of the unseen kingdoms and earth, the meaning and purpose which govern all things. Rutana will never be too loud. I like your style. Fantastic. Chapter 1. Preliminary. Wisdom is the treasure of all ages, which shall endure incorruptibly forever until time is spent. Therefore, let the tumult of life be stilled, and in reverence and silence receive these instructions from ancient times. Behold the teachings concerning life and the testimonies which are a true guide through the portals at the great halls of eternity. Here is a code of behavior and manner of living prescribed by the noble ones, the story of life with a revelation of the secrets and mysteries of the unseen kingdoms and earth, the meaning and purpose which govern all things. Herein are the guiding lights of thought, which will enable a man to follow a straight course on the great sea of life and to steer away from evil. Followed faithfully, they will bring him to a safe harbor, to enable him to give a righteous judgment and return a suitable answer to one who speaks to him or challenges him. By holding these things in his heart, he shall maintain a position of respect among the people and be delivered from the yoke of common folk. The dispensations of eternity shall not remain hidden from him, nor shall life conceal its mystery. Behold, here is a wisdom and knowledge given to you, that in the fullness of time all the inhabitants of the earth may dwell in its glory. The old teachings which will provide a staff for the simple and a guardian for the young. Wherever the sun shines or the wind blows, wherever there is an eye to see with clarity or an ear to hear with understanding, a mind to receive and assimilate, there let the greater way of life be made known, and the maxims of truth be honored and obeyed. Written for the elect by the Master of Mysteries, once overseer of harvests and recorder of taxes, guardians of tombs and upholder of royal decrees, beloved of the high gods and the gods. keeper of the secrets of the highest God, lesser lord of jubilees, and grand scribe of the sacred writings, one born into the house of a false god, whom he rejected, distributor of barley seed and master of the great sanctuary, chief of seers and guardian of the great mysteries, watcher at the sacred shrine and defender of the lakeland and the gate, inspector of the courtyard of the sacred being, guardian of the hidden records and servant of the secret temple, messengers of the true God, third begotten son of an enlightened father, a magistrate of a goodly city, son of a gentle lady, sistrum, bearer and mistress of the songstresses in the temple of the twofold God, now one whose name is obliterated by unchangeable decree, but once a man of good standing in this country, whose estate remains to this day. My children, listen to the voice of instruction and incline a willing ear towards the speech of wisdom. Thus shall the words which issue from your mouth be established before men, and your commands be obeyed as the statutes. Let not your mind be diverted, nor your attention be distracted. Set them in your heart as a royal impression, inscribe them there as though struck on marble. To cast aside the words of experience which guided the ancients is foolhardy and an invitation to calamity. Therefore, immerse yourself in the writings of the past as in cool waters at the heat of the day, and your spirit will emerge refreshed and strengthened. They will be a steadying oar enabling the vessel of your heart's desire to alter course and wear against the winds of adversity without capsizing. When your opponent sends a gale of words beating against your defenses, they will break it as a shield shatters the sword and will arm your tongue for the counter-assault. Living your life according to these instructions, and you will be well fortified in the season of adversity's trial. To you, my children, I give this, the treasure of the past, the accumulated wisdom of man. There has been a careful selection of words and gathering of sayings, a winnowing of works of wisdom, and a careful choice made from the hidden writings, all recorded with much searching of the heart, while seeking the great God's inspiration. There is nothing added to that which was no unknown utterance or unfamiliar saying. Nothing which has not been on the tongue and in the hearts of our forefathers. What was recorded in their days has been rewritten, for truth and wisdom are a mooring line from the first man to the last, from generation to generation until the end. Would that I could grasp something from the unknown to hand on to you, but I am only the guiding channel, leading the refreshing waters of wisdom from the great reservoir of truth towards the parched lands of uninstructed. All right. Hold on, we're getting... Alright. I had to listen back real quick to make sure that everything was being recorded properly. And everything is, it sounds great. Everything is, it sounds fantastic. All right, here we go. Chapter 2. The nature of the true God. There is but one God, the high God, the designer, the creator and ruler of the earth and lord of the kingdoms of light and darkness. everlasting, all-powerful, and beyond the understanding of men. The great dweller in everlasting pregnant silence, unseeable, unknowable. By a command he created man, and in his indulgence permitted the gods to be fashioned. He is the source of all that is, the father of fathers, mother of mothers, the one who preceded the sun. The sun is not God, though his creation, for its brightness bestows light and life upon the earth. It gives warmth to the aged and quickens the child in its mother's womb. It nourishes the seed and calls forth the green. It nourishes the seed and calls forth the green growth. It is the instrument of the high God, his furnace fire of life. The sun is removed from man at nighttime, but the true God is always within him. Man never walks alone. He is never unescorted. To this God alone give praise, self-created, maker of heaven and earth, founder of the kingdoms of light and darkness, the waters, the mountains, to the one that is above all, the spring from which flows all wisdom. To him alone belong adoration, thanksgiving, honor, and praise. Who spread wide the great canopy of heaven and pinned back the curtains of night with the stars, whose fingers draw the courses of the night lights in unalterable arrangement. He holds the great waters within their appointed limits, and the storm water he keeps in restraint. He covers the face of the earth with a green mantle of vegetation. He inundates the land with the waters of life. His arm sweeps across the skies, and men are bewildered, earth shaken, and nations collapse and fall. The wicked tremble before his manifestations and are consumed in the midst of his fire. The wrongdoer is confounded and lies stricken before his darts of lightning. His thunders rend the roof of heaven, and earth groans out its travail. It is he, the high God, who defeats armies with pestilence, or gives one man dominion over thousands. At his command the seas will rise against the earth, or mountains belch forth fires of destruction. A man lives his allotted span in the dispensation of the high God of old, whose will encompasses the daily task around. All things have their beginning and an end with God. His power cannot be suppressed. His knowledge is the wisdom of eternity. His strength reaches out into infinity. His dwelling place is set in the universal center, and he encompasses all the universes, great and small. His breath sustains life in multitudinous forms, and his thoughts hold all things to their proper shape. He prescribes the courses of the stars. He issues his commands to the winds, and they sing their responses. The wide seas murmur his praise. He moves the silence in the void of empty space, where the eternal heart lies sleeping. Order and beauty are shaped by his hands. His voice speaks from the sandy silences. He whispers in cool breezes. He roars in the whirlwind. He murmurs in the running waters. He sighs in the treetops, and men hear his voice without understanding. Man dreams and says this is reality. He sees the shadow but is blinded before the light. He reasons and is deceived. The design of the true God and his nature cannot be understood in the light of reason, for reason is not with this God, who knows all things without reason. There is none other like unto the one God in all his glory, whose strength can challenge him, whose will can contend with his will, whose might can equal his. Where is another with his wisdom, who in goodness can compare with him? By the power of his thoughts, many kingdoms are brought forth beyond earth. He speaks the unutterable word, and they are created. He rules his creatures with infinite wisdom and directs their destinies with unchallengeable decrees. His will controls the forces within men, and the thing they seek unknowingly is him. As the body when hungry is filled with the urge to eat, and when thirsty with the urge to drink, so is the spirit in man filled with the urge to seek God. His ordinances govern earth and the heavens above. All things therein have their appointed place and purpose, and in their nature conform to his laws. His ways are inscrutable, transcending the understanding of men. His thoughts are a mystery, which men may not fathom. They are veiled and withdrawn beyond the comprehension of mortals. His design is unveiled to the multitude. His design is unrevealed to the multitude. Few are the men who can understand why he planted the roads to the place of glory with the sharp stones of suffering and pain, or why life is a struggle through thorny forests of adversity. But the ways of men are known to God, for the Creator ever knows the created. Though it does not follow that the created know their Creator, therefore, O man, remember that your heart lies naked before his gaze, and your innermost thoughts come under his scrutiny. No deed ever goes unrecorded. No one can perceive his radiance, for he dwells in the profound silence of the outer sphere. Look for him in the order of nature, and see his plan in its direction. Look for him amid the stars in their courses, and see the grandeur of his scheme. Look for the unmanifested spirit in the manifested object. His glory is proclaimed in the heavens. The sun reflects his splendor. The moon witnesses his peace. His fruitfulness is spread over the face of the land, and the waters are filled with his bounty. The earth bends to his will or is broken to his command. Man may walk in the appointed directions, or he will be driven. Walk in the lights of the law and not along the paths of transgressor. For the laws of the high God are unchallengeable and cannot be transgressed with impunity. The wrongful deeds and the wicked thoughts of man are indelibly inscribed upon the everlasting tablets of his immortal soul. He is the Creator, in whose spirit image and likeness you were fashioned. His laws ordained your present estate and circumstances upon the earth. The power of your intellect is his promise of godhood, and the marvels of your body are the works of his hand. His soul communes with your soul, and the consciousness he shares with you is the source of your life. In his sight all men are equal, and he judges them as men and not according to their estate. The rich and the poor, the highborn and the lowly, the wise and the simple, all receive a fitting reward according to their labors. From each is expected results according to his abilities. From some much, and from others little. Only that which serves the purpose of the great God is accounted worthy by him. He has established the law. I just want to stop and say that was a really cool passage we just read. Each man is judged according to his labor. If he is capable of much, he is judged as so. If they are capable of little, they are judged as so. That's an interesting topic. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, where were we? God is accounted. I can't snap right now. It's dry out here in California. It's weird weather. He has established the law whereby the sun shines down on the good and the wicked alike. He sends rain equally for the provident and the improvident. The arrows of misfortune strike the worthy and the unworthy without indifference. Wait, sorry, I'm losing my touch apparently. The arrows of misfortune strike the worthy and the unworthy with indifference. Only the most wise may understand why this is the established nature of things. For the generality of men, it is a condition to be accepted with good grace, and for them it is sufficient to know that the seeming indifference of the universe serves its purpose. The true God neither rewards nor punishes. For he has established the law whereby each man decrees his own fate. The future destiny and circumstances of the soul are shaped in the earthly body. When, in the hour of its release, the soul takes flight, freed from its earthly container of flesh, it assumes the form molded by its desires. In that awesome day of reckoning, the wicked shall be revealed in hideous shapelessness, but the upright shall step forward in splendor. Therefore give due respect to the law of God, walk in his ways, and bow to his decrees. You are placed on earth that his purpose may be fulfilled. Therefore fight not against his will, nor rebel against his laws, lest you bring about your own destruction. God will not destroy the transgressor of his law, for he will destroy himself. Each man ultimately decrees his own fate and receives his reward or punishment according to the law. Hail to the Creator, giver of breath, God of destinies, great God of thunder and fire, he who roars over the earth, the silent one who walks by your side, unseen, unmanifested, Father God, Mother God, God of comfort and conflict, mighty fighter with stone, the glorious being, the Lord of life and light, God of the gods, Prince of everlastingness, ruler of the netherworld, King of the western kingdom, light of eternity, light of life. We'll let the dogs finish barking. Hello, drunken monkey. Shalvit, welcome. Okay. And a car. There go the dogs again. How you guys doing? Are you drinking water? You guys drinking water and exercising? My biggest piece of spiritual advice I can give to you all right now, I hope you're listening, is this. Eat whole foods and exercise and drink plenty of good, clean water. And your soul will be happy. I promise. You're at the gym now, drunken monkey? You're listening to Man Letters at the gym? Wowzers. I like your style. I listen to classical music at the gym, and I thought I was trying to make a statement, but I think you might have us on that one. I'm taking a break. The dogs are barking, so we don't want that to go in the recording. I guess we can stop the recording right now. That way we're not just recording needlessly. You can't even hear the dogs too much in the recording, can you? Can you guys hear the dogs very much? I forgot I got a new microphone. Shout out Patreon squad, by the way, thank you. And channel members, by the way, because we used the channel members' money and the Patreon money to buy us a new mic a couple months ago. So you can't hear the dogs a lot of the time. Dope! Alright, I think the dogs are done. That's dope, drunken monkey. We are honored. We are honored. Well, we will continue. We will thank you too, non-conformista. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Thank you for the company. And thank you for the support. Okay, let's keep going. Whoops, where did we leave off? All right. These are his names according to his nature, but this also you may know about the true God. He is the fountainhead of all things. His power is unbounded, and his mind knows no limitations. He has the wisdom of eternity and the mantle of his great. It seems the dogs have awakened. His power is unbounded, and his mind knows no limitations. He has the wisdom of eternity, and the mantle of his greatness envelops all mankind. He sits enthroned in the universal center, and the divine rays which flow from his presence hold all forms in stability. He moves his finger in the night skies, and the stars dance along their pathways. He walks upon the wings of wind and encompasses all the kingdoms of heaven and earth. Order and beauty follow his train, and all things obey the directions of his hand. The face of beauty looks out from his works, and the voice of wisdom speaks from the midst of his creation, though it is scarcely heard through the barriers of mortal limitations. Glory and grandeur form his mantle, justice and mercy drape over his body. Love and benevolence cover his head, and the virtue of all virtues are his footstool. Discuss not his form, for it's beyond understanding. Push not among the crowd of his worshippers. Mouth not the words of his writings unthinkily. Mumble not his praises. Stand not before his shrine in hypocritical humility. Carefully supervise his ministrations and maintain due decorum in his place. Remember him always. He is with you always. In the midst of his concourse, and in the silence of your bedchamber. His breath gives life to countless forms, and his will holds all things to their appointed shape. Obey his commands, take heed of the ordinances he has made, for they conform to your needs. All things are bent to the benefit of man, and all that encompasses your life accord with his direction. And the soul within you may enjoy continued gracious growth from stage to stage of its unfolding, so that when the cumberstone sheath of mortal flesh is cast off, it may receive a just and fitting compensation under the great law, in accordance with its thoughts and deeds on earth. Where is this strange God of ours? And it is well you ask. For if you would be happy on earth, you must know his ways. He is not a revealed God. He has hidden himself, for he knows well the dispositions of men. Were he here now among the people and revealed to their gaze, the weakling would fall upon him, the hypocrite would join his following, and the wrongdoer would walk in his train, proclaiming his innocence with a loud voice. How then, if he were here, could the weakling be tested, the hypocrite discovered, and the wrongdoer unveiled? How then, if he were here, could the weakling be tested, the hypocrite discovered, and the wrongdoer unveiled? Our God is hidden, that men may be tested and established for what they really are. Were he revealed to the eyes and understanding of men, earth and life would have no purpose. He hides to discover the hearts of men. Is it not declared in the plans of God that uncertainty is an essential earthly condition? Yet this you may know, that if you be worthy, and very few are, there is a method whereby you may look beyond the veil, and then no longer will you walk in uncertainty. However, for men in general, the undiscovered God is not apparent. He has no man-made image in his likeness, and he stands in obscurity behind the great alcove beyond the temple within the place of flame. Yet he makes himself known in the subtle ways, for he cannot remain unmanifested to the truly spiritual, any more than a river can remain hidden, for it dissolves away the ground in which it is concealed. so will the great God spring forth in the midst of material things, and dissolving away their solidity, shine forth to the sincere seeker. He is not a new God, but the oldest God of all, the Father of all ages, the ancient one of yore. He requires no temple. He requires no temple to establish his glory or sacrifice to give him strength. A cheerful nature is more acceptable to this God than offerings of gold and silver by the bad-tempered man, or the sacrificial ox of the churlish man. He prefers the man who gives a willing hand to his neighbor, to one who brings him treasure. A word of encouragement to a man in distress is of more value to our God than loud praises in his temple. He does not take all and remain mute. He seeks not gifts with no purpose or wasteful sacrifices. What can man give that will add to his glory? What thing fashioned by man could benefit the one God, who by taking thought could create a universe? Work for our God, and he will work for you. He remembers well the man who labors on his behalf. He who labors to the benefit of others work for the great God. He who improves earth works for him. The purpose of man's sojourn on earth is the glorification of man, not the glorification of God, who is the all-glorious one. Thus it is written in the plans of God. Yo, this is a godsend, one could say, all pun intended. That is almost verbatim what's written in the Kabbalion about the all. The all is not. It mentions how the all, the origin of source, the origin of all things, the Alpha and Omega. To even give it a name is to undershoot it, because how can one of such be given a name? We can just say the all. It says, how can that thing? How could we audaciously and blasphemously ascribe to that entity emotions, especially negative emotions of humanity, like susceptibility to greed, for example, susceptibility to envy, susceptibility to flattery, right? Because that's what most religions teach you to do. Most religions say you got to worship your God, you got to pray to God, you got to sacrifice your God. You shall worship no other gods beside me. The God of Israel had his chosen people, and everyone else was just sent to hell. Though that God of Israel was probably Marduk, which was an Anunnaki god who... Anywho, that's a different rabbit hole. Point being, how much this ties into other Hermetic teachings that we come across. Specifically Kabbalion, that says, trust, God is not asking you to sacrifice a goat. He does not need your praise. How could you give it something when it could create the universe and an infinite amount of universes with simply a thought? Yet we are audacious enough and silly enough to think that there is something that we could offer it that it doesn't already have, that it can't get of its own accord. What it wants is, like it said, to help thy neighbor, to love thy neighbor, to not throw high velocity lead at each other, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Because we have to be careful what we say, high velocity lead. We're humans throwing high velocity lead at each other, or throwing metals really fast at each other to unalive each other. He said, love, can you guys just be chill? Can you just, he says, a person in a happy demeanor, sincerely, genuinely happy because they're living good virtues and they're just taking care of one another, they're being taken care of, they're loving and they're being loved. That is much more meaningful to me than all the silver and gold in the world. Why would you have to make offerings of gold to the all? What the hell is the all going to do with gold? Someone answer me. Hey Dave, over there in the back. Yeah, what is God going to do with gold? The one who created the universe in the blink of an eye? That one. The one who created everything. What's he going to need gold for? Get out of here. Come on. Want to know who needs gold? Mortal beings need gold. That's who needs gold. Whether it's human or some other type of entity, mortal beings need gold. The Truman Zoo, hello. Yeah, everyone slap the like button. That would be awesome. A bit jealous, these gods. Yeah, come on. How are you going to be a god and be jealous? How can you call yourself the god of everything creative and be susceptible to praise, flattery, jealousy, envy? That don't sound like no god. I'm not saying it's not an extremely powerful being that could just wreck my existence if we so felt it, right? I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, is that the ultimate, the substantial reality, the all? I don't know. But it keeps me up at night. Let us continue. The true temples of the great God are not structures of stone and brick. They are places of quietude in your heart and home, where you listen to the awakening of your soul as it responds to the conscious contact with Him. His worship is your labor among the people. His praise is the song in your heart. Whoa, excuse me. His praise is the song in your heart. His adoration, your joy of living. Keep the peace of the mysterious God and maintain the order of His law among men and women, for they are His flocks and herds, and He calls forth shepherds from among them. He made earth a workplace for man and not a pleasure garden. Therefore be a young song leader at the task. He is the mighty God, the nameless one whom your fathers held in awe. He it was who dissipated the darkness over the waters, who separated the chaos, who lifted the cloud, who made the breezes of life to fill the nostrils of men. Men came forth from His members, and they appeared in His likeness. For their sustenance, He provided fruits and vegetables, animals, fowls, and fish. He has brought low His enemies. Yes, He has even destroyed His own children. He rolled the grain, and lo, it became the food of men. He dismembered the destroyer in olden times. He made daylight for the joy of man and darkness for his tranquility. Men cry to Him in their distress, and He suffers with them. He sends a captain to strengthen the resistance of the feeble and a champion for the weak. He has endowed men with the power of speech and bedecked their language with fine words, that greatness may sound around the earth. He has enlightened the mind of man with great thoughts to repulse the might of untoward happenings. He has given him the courage to overcome terrors that lurk by night and to dispel those that strike by day. He is a God of justice as well as benevolence, for He metes out chastisement, not always, obviously, as among men, but sometimes as a man chastises a son for his brother. There can be none greater than the true God, for though Himself nameless, He knows every name. Be not reticent to worship, for this is the prerogative of the highborn and wise. The king and nobles attend the temples diligently, but the stupid man and grave robber have no God. Worship bestows no benefit on God. Worship bestows no benefit on God, for He is all self-sufficient. Its purpose is the service of man, not the service of God. It fulfills a need of man, not a need of God. Nothing that man can do will add to God's glory. Nothing that man can give will add to that. Nothing to which He already has. These are the teachings of the wise ones, to whom be all due honor and respect. Give ear and listen with a receptive mind. Record them unto your generations, that they pass not away with dust with your habitations. Therefore, let it now be written, and as written, let it be made known. Woo! Nice. End of chapter 1. Oh, it's good to be back, ain't it? It's good to be back here just reading some things, you know what I'm saying? Just getting that knowledge, getting that fix. Slightly meditative, is it not? Boy, the weather! Very peculiar. Don't you think? All material from a material world. Non-conformista. Germany, was it? Switzerland? I can't remember. I ask you every time and I forget every time. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Please, please. Please, please, please forgive me. Give me a moment to gather myself before we continue. How you guys doing? Are you drinking water? Are you enjoying the text? Man, I cannot. You know what? This should be its own video topic. Someone remind me to make this its own video topic, but how about this? How about this? What is most unfortunate, maybe we can set up we'll do a little double action here. How about this? What is most unfortunate is this. The all, God, the origin of source, the origin of all things that needs absolutely nothing because it is everything. How can a thing from which all things manifest need something? If it needed something, that means there's something outside of it, and how can it be the all if there's nothing outside of it? So the all must be completely self-sufficient. So how can one say God needs praise? God needs worship. God needs offerings. God needs sacrifice. God needs you to not... God needs you to do X, Y, Z. That's my point. How can God need something from a mortal? Anything. I'll tell you why. Reason why is because corrupt men, corrupt archons, corrupt whatever you want to call it, have taken it upon themselves they have positioned themselves as the intermediary between the common folk and God. Right? So you got to give money to the church. You got to show up to church. The Vatican over in Rome is the wealthiest, and it's not even a part of Rome. It's not even a part of Italy. It is its own place, the Vatican, and it's loaded with gold. Gold captured from nations around the world, I might add. Stolen from cultures around the world, I might add. Please, I assure you, the Pope and bishops aren't smiths. They are not miners and smelters and crafters of fine metals. I assure you, the Pope is not a seamstress weaving gold fabric into his clothing. No, the riches of the church are extracted from the population, ultimately with the idea that we are the intermediary of God. God needs all these things from you. God don't need shit from you, because God has everything. God is the source of everything. God needs you to be kind to your neighbor. God needs you to be kind to yourself. Doesn't need sacrifices. Doesn't need gold and silver. Doesn't need money from you so that you won't spend as much time in purgatory. All that made up shit. Come on. No, it's because a bunch of people want to put themselves in between you and in between God. And they say, I have all the answers. You need to pay me in money. You need to pay me emotionally. You need to pay me with your attention, which is worth more than money. Your attention is worth more than gold. They want your time and they want your energy, and as much of it as possible. And in return, they tell you, I will strengthen your connection with God, as if you needed that, as if you needed another human to strengthen your connection with God, as if the kingdom of heaven wasn't inside of you, so to speak. Could you imagine being the creator of everything and then being like, oh, dude, thank you so much. I really appreciate that cow you sacrificed for me. I really needed that. I really needed that dying cow energy, I guess. Is that how it works? I don't know. That seems silly to me. I'd be like, bro, stop doing mindless, wasteful things. Keep the cow. Can you imagine people back in the day were just sacrificing goats and cows and then starving to death during the winter because mice got into their grain bags and ate some of their grain and exposed it to moisture, and so their grain started rotting. So half the family starved because that's just what happened back then. Like if you didn't store your grain properly and the grain rotted, you died because that was all the food you had, and you didn't have the extra meat because you decided to sacrifice a cow to some fucking make-believe god or a real one that was like a real quote-unquote god that was super powerful and made you do that, but not because they were the actual god, but because they were an imposter. A very powerful one. I get it. Anywho. God does. I love that last passage we just read because it says God does not need worship. The all self-sufficient doesn't need anything other than for you to be happy, other than for you to take care of your homie, other than for you to stop dropping heavy pieces of lead on each other at really high velocities. If you catch my drift, whether, you know what I mean? Stop throwing high velocity lead at each other. That's all it needs. That's all it wants. I don't know, man. I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I making sense? Is that fair? Did I just get I don't know. Are we rising above the nonsense? Can we rise above we're rising. This is what ascension looks like. Being homies with your neighbor. Is that too much? I know it's not sexy. I know being homies with your neighbor isn't sexy, but that could be the fastest way to ascension on a global scale. I'm just throwing it out there. Just pondering. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to agree. I at least ask for a consideration. I at least ask to consider the thought. I'm hungry. I just got super hungry all of a sudden. Holland. That's right. I was going to say Dutch. Holland is Dutch. Dutch is Holland, right? Forgive my American ignorance. Well, I want to keep going, but I feel like I have some things to take care of that I don't want to put off until the last minute. I sold a bunch of white sage plants, and we need to package those and send them out. I sold some white sage plants to Spain. Hopefully they survive the trip. They bounce back pretty well, but Spain's quite the distance. So, plus I keep smelling my neighbors. Now, this wall you see behind me, I share with my neighbor's house. It's a weird setup. And they're making what smells like deliciousness. Eggs, bacon. It smells great. Truman, Drunken, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you for supporting the channel. We got some channel members signed up in the past couple of days. Thank you guys so much. We have another Patreon member that signed up. Thank you so much. I got to do a proper shout out to all the people that are signing up. Everyone sharing the videos. I see you guys sharing videos. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you, 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 thank you so much. It is much appreciated. You will be seeing a lot more of my face because it is our fall winter season, and this feels good to dive this season, doesn't it? Music slowing down. Hey, you guys want to hear? Let's see if this works. Never mind. We'll do another one. Holland Dutch / the Netherlands. All right, nonconformista. Please be easy. Please be kind. Drunken Monkey, nonconformista. Truman. Who else did we have? Shalvi. Hello, Shalvi, if you're still here. Glass of wine. You had some wine? Thank you for having wine with us. I love it. I love it. Ron Gagnon. I really like that last bit. Yes, Ron Gagnon. Thank you, channel member Ron. Thank you so much. Thank you. You signed up. All right. Until next time.